Good morning. Al Ingalls here at pressure-free.com. We're going to still lift up the hood this morning. And gosh, how old was I? 27, I'm going to guess. I was 27 years old. I woke up, started to get ready for work, and all of a sudden I couldn't see. It was kind of black and flashing lights, like tons of flashing lights. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going blind. So I somehow walked to the hospital. I didn't live too far from it. And I walked to the hospital. I remember like holding on to the railing and going up the stairs as they had me go up to an ophthalmologist in the hospital. And I was having an ocular migraine. Never had this before, so never had one since, thank goodness. But that ophthalmologist shared something with me that has stuck with me all these years and actually helped me with clients who have had a lot of migraines, in particular. He said to me, all right, the ocular center of your brain is experiencing an electrical disturbance, and that's what's causing all these flashing lights and all this in my vision. It's an electrical disturbance. Okay. So fast forward. Today, what I want to talk about are migraines, headaches, jaw clenching, tooth grinding. For some of the clients that I work with, the symptoms that they experience when they've triggered fight or flight or when they're feeling stressed, it's very head centered. So headaches, migraines, a lot of clenching. I used to tooth grind. I don't anymore. It's wonderful. If I do, it's a sign, oh, what's going on? It's actually a clue. And that's the same for you. So if you experience any of these things, headaches, migraines, jaw clenching, tooth grinding, you need a mouth guard, it's a clue that something's working on you. Something is causing you to have all this tension in your head. So maybe you don't feel it so much in your chest, like your throat doesn't close and your chest doesn't tighten so much. Maybe you don't feel it in your gut so much, but you feel it here. Uh, so why is that happening, right? Why is that happening? I think it's fascinating how different everybody is and how the symptoms of the stress response are different in everybody that I coach. So there's not a one size fits all. You can read the textbook, a psychology textbook, and read about the stress response and look at it and say, but that's not me, but that's not me. But then we come to the headache thing or the migraine thing. I want to share a tool, and you can use this tool for migraines. You can use this tool for any kind of illness, like, scratchy throat starting to happen kind of thing. Use it if you're injured. I've helped people who have gone through surgery, coach them the day after to help them actually heal faster. So any injury, any illness, any condition that's tense, you can use this three-step method. Before I begin share the method, what I've come to understand is that from the time we were little, whenever we were hurt or felt pain, our caregivers would tend to tense up. So we're just absorbing, we're just little, and we imitate this. So, for example, I skin my knee, and my father might go, oh no, we got to get a Band-Aid. Like the face goes tight, the body goes tight. And so as little ones, we're always imitating our parents. We're either imitating or we're pushing away what they're doing because we don't want to do it. But a lot of times we're just imitating this. So we got conditioned, subconsciously conditioned to tense up toward pain. So if you start to have a headache or a migraine, you're probably going to raise your shoulders. You're probably going to tighten your jaw. All of this is going to start to get tight. And that's just an instant subconscious reflex based on what you saw growing up. So with that in mind, here are the three steps. The first step is to relax physically. So wherever you're feeling the pain, here, your stomach, anywhere, or wherever you are hurt or wherever you've had surgery, whatever's going down, Start first with the center of your body. So place a hand on your belly and relax your belly. And you'll notice it will be so much easier to relax the rest of your body. Um, you can do a simple experiment. If you tighten your abs and just notice how much tension is in your hand. This is very subtle, so you'll have to really pay attention. But notice how much tension is in your hand and then relax your belly. You can start to notice that there's a lot more flexibility. Let's take that for a moment for a performer, like violinist for me, athlete, soft hands on a hockey stick. If your abs are super tight, your hands have tension in them. But if you can relax that belly, your hands are going to be softer and much more able to execute finer motor skills. Sometimes you'll see people when they write, they might have a thumb issue, like putting their thumb over here, but they're writing really hard. If you can get them to relax their abs, did you see what happened with my body right there? Like, okay, so now this can be more fluid. So if you find yourself with any pain, start with the abs and then go to that place, like all the way up. If it was my head, I would start with my abs and all the way up my body, I would start to flow that relaxation and soften here. So physically relax. Second step is to mentally relax. This one I think is harder. I was coaching an executive once who says, I can relax my belly, I can physically relax, but to turn off all the negative thoughts is far more difficult. So, in this case, they're starting to feel like they're going to be sick the next day. And so the thoughts were, I can't be sick. I have so much to do. I'm going to be so far behind. Like it just starts going. And so step two is to use a tool I call flip the switch, which is like a light switch on your head, okay? And when you go into fight or flight, the lights are going out, right? And you can be annoyed that you're about to be ill. So to flip the switch, it's actually a motion, hand motion, because a gross motor motion is one of the fastest ways to change your thought pattern, to actually disrupt patterns you've had for a long time, even decades, because the moment you do a large motion, you create new neural pathways. You start to create new neural pathways. That's how your brain was growing when you were tiny. That's why it's so important for children to move and do big motions, big movements, because the cortex is growing from the back to the front with these motions, opening new neural pathways. So back to this, flip the switch. I usually smile and I look up into my head and I say a slogan here. I say, caught you, catching my brain going into a negative pattern. Caught you. And then the fastest way to get healing going mentally is to either ask an empowering question or you can put an affirmation too. So the question could be, how can I stay healthy today? How can I heal faster? How can I help support my body? How can I release this tension? Anything that is moving you toward what you want. In fact, even with that last one, like, how can I release this tension? Your brain's going to probably focus on the word tension, right? So how can my brain be free would probably be a better question for you. And then here's a little secret to flip the switch. Don't force any answers. Don't like try to answer. Your shoulders will raise up like mine are. Like it's just took a look down. It's like, so ask the question and just let it sit. Your brain is amazingly going to come up with some ideas and answers. You might reach for a hot mug of water. Like that's what's in here, water. You might go lie down for a moment. Like your brain is going to come up with some ideas to help with all this. And then the last step, so step 3 of this is to tune into, I like to put it this way, okay. Tune into the amazing energy that created you. You are literally a miracle walking on this planet. So tune in to the energy that created you and grew you to heal you. I truly believe that the natural energy of everything around us wants us to be healthy, wants everything to be flourishing and healthy for its time on the planet. You know, I've got a 350-year-old tree not far from me. That tree has lost a lot of limbs, but it sure has birthed a lot of babies. And it's the entire area of that forest is all its offspring, right? And that tree is still living. It houses so many animals because it's an incredible tree. So I look at that tree and realize, no, I get to flourish, I get to flourish for however long I'm on the planet. So tuning into that energy, and then if you know the word chakra, so for thousands of years, Hindu have known like open up these portals into the human body because energy can go through you. So on your palms, you can actually start to experience it. Gosh, I don't have anything right here. Experience it on your palms. You can take your two hands and just kind of go back and forth like this a little bit. And after a while, if you wave one hand over the other without touching it, you'll start to feel your energy field. Like there's energy beyond you. And it can go and go and go. Like it's really amazing to kind of tune into that. It's also for some people a little freaky, so I'm not gonna share a whole lot here, but let's say it's the sore throat thing. So if you can open up right over your throat and just imagine that you are clearing yourself. I think of it as getting yourself very well healed at the atomic level first. So if I picture an atom, I see this little sphere, electrons spinning around. But to get it to scale, you need to imagine standing at, I'm going to say the big house in Ann Arbor as a Michigan grad, standing there. It's a night game. Imagine in the middle of that whole space of the big house in Ann Arbor, the football stadium, there's a tiny, tiny grain of sand. That's the size of the nucleus. And then the little dust motes in the air that you can see from the night lights, those are the electrons, the size of the electrons. So basically, we are mostly space, are at the atomic level. So in my mind, I picture how can we have these electrons spinning beautifully around the nucleus, right? How can I get all of my electrons spinning beautifully? So I'm healing at the atomic level, which then helps the molecule, helps the cell, helps the organ, helps the organism. So simply tuning in. When my kids were little, they go, Mommy, do the thing. The thing was to, like, they're feeling a sore throat coming, and I would just like wave my hand, not even touching them, and just like waving my hand to release the tension that is like all in here and have them relax their bellies, their little bellies, and then just relax here. And the next day they'd be fine. I helped an athlete once who had shoulder surgery, a D1 baseball player, was not supposed to be able to pitch from the mound for 12 months after this particular surgery. He was pitching at the 6-month mark. And 6 weeks in, after working with me, like I coached him right after the surgery, his trainer and his physical therapist said they'd never seen such healing so quickly. So we can really work on our healing in a pretty fantastic way. These 3 steps can really help you, and especially for everything here in the head area. Once you start to use the pressure-free method and gain mastery and go day after day after day and not trigger these hormones, your jaw is going to relax without you even trying to relax it. It's not going to be tense. You're not going to be wanting to clench all night and be tight all night and be in this like really, really tense thing. You'll be so much more open with your body. So that's my little pressure-free living moment with you today. Hope you have a great pressure-free day. Bye.